Hello and welcome to Remember the Ages. We are actually going to be starting a brand new series, and I really do hope you guys enjoy this. This series is a beginner's guide for those who are just starting the game out and having difficulty trying to get through the early content up to about level 60. And to make it a little bit more interesting, we're going to add the limitation of not allowing us to use any characters above the SR rank. So we can use any R rank characters, we can use any SR rank characters, but no SSR rank characters. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but hopefully I'm able to show you guys some interesting stuff. Now, the absolute most important thing you can start out in this game is by logging on. From there, you then need to choose your server. Now this is paramount. This is my old character here. You have so many different servers, and every server is tailored to a very specific thing, and you really need to we're just going to choose one. Here you go. So when you first start the game, they're going to ask you for your character name. It's basically an account name for yourself. Pick whatever you name you want. I'm going to go with Shadow Ages, you know, because I got sent to the Shadow Realm or something. So we're actually going to be skipping all the in-game story. If you're interested in checking out the in-game story, go ahead and play the game for yourself. But otherwise, we're going to be skipping through this. They're going to give a little bit of a tutorial. I'm going to leave the audio in English if you guys prefer. There is a Japanese setting for it as well, so that is available. But right here, they're just teaching us how to play the game. Click your target, you can attack them. Pretty simple and straightforward. You have to leave animations on for the very beginning, but you're able to change that setting. We'll get into that. We'll get into that when we get there.
Okay, I will take care of these enemies.
So we're just skipping through the dialogue. He's going to be using a skill here. We're just learning how to use the skill. So you're able to tap on the enemy and attack them directly, but then you're also able to move to different spaces and select your skills to do different effects. So sometimes you can attack from 2 range, sometimes you can attack 1, sometimes even more, or it allows you to do extra movement. The one and only time I get to use Leon, I didn't pull in my original account. One day, Leon, you'll be mine. Moving forward. Use his penultimate move. Why would we do that on him? Why are we doing such 1,000 hooves on an enemy that does not deserve 1,000 hooves? There's another good opponent we could have taken out, like that range unit. How dare you? Yes, Jessica, you do your meteor. I just want to point out, meteor does not cast from that range. It is a lie. This is scripted. And Bozel. You know, interestingly enough, Bozel's in his summoner class here. Makes perfect sense if he's summoning a demon dragon. Okay, we're going to skip the roar. And no! Elwyn takes a ton of damage. It's alright, Elwyn. You'll make it. Elwyn! I love you! And then, yeah, that's pretty much how the fire dragon works, or Fafnir, as his name is. He'll attack and then he uses his extra ability on different turns. It's pretty faithful. Again, you can't warp from that far. You have to be much closer. We'll cover that when we get there. Come on, dialogue. We're trying to skip through you. Skip through this tutorial. There's a little bit of tutorial in the game. Now, okay, guys. This is where you need to drop everything. This here is the penultimate. You know how I talked about the server picking? Absolutely the most important thing that you ever do in this game. This actually beats that out. This is the utmost, most important thing that you'll have in this game is you're going to be giving a few choices, and I'm just going to let you know that these choices are life-changing. Okay, ready? I'm going to give you, these are the different classes that you can make Matthew. So you need to absolutely make sure, we're just going to pick. There you go.
I see. These are your results. Do you want to continue?
Seeing as how Shadow Matthew would perfectly mimic Shadow Ages, I think we got the right choice here. What do you guys think?
Adventurer, your journey awaits. Believe in yourself.
All right. Again, you can see the story when you play the game, but the voice acting is pretty nice. And there's a lot of English acting up to a certain point. Again, we're going to skip the story, so if you want to listen to it, you can play the game. Oh, look at him. So naked. So underclassed. Okay. Here we go. First map, and it's still a tutorial.
Wait.
You going to let me explain the game?
Here, my class is Acolyte.
You're an Acolyte. That means you kind of heal. But you know what? Just because we're a healer doesn't mean we can't go offensive. Let's go. Let's do this. I don't want to point things out, Almeida, but you really should have just let Matthew take care of that one. I mean, type advantage and all that stuff. Oh, that's right. We're going to cover that in a minute. So here we have the different information and stuff. So if you tap on a character, they bring up a data screen for the different stats, abilities, all that kind of stuff. It depends on whether or not you've taken your turn or not. If the bar, I'll show it. I'll show it in a minute. But this is just a basic overview. You can check the info. You can click on the skills, and it'll pop up with information for the skills, so you can read those, so you can have a better understanding of what's going on.
Matthew, it is impossible to defeat the enemy just with a meat as in.
Yeah, we know that.
Time to go. Wait for me.
We should have just used Matthew to begin with, but you know. Maybe she was just softening him up because Matthew wasn't confident he was going to win that triangle advantage. You know? Reds are better than green. Greens are better than blue. Blues are sad, but they win out on reds. That's the triangle for you. I literally just came up with that on the spot. Oh, look, they can we move? We can move him anywhere we want. Okay, let's actually take a look at this map. This is a tutorial, so it's not really that paramount. But here we have Grenier, and like they said, if you click on Grenier, you can click on his face, and it brings up his stats. So he has his troops here, and they'll come with descriptions if you have that. Shows their weaknesses and strengths. You can also click on his skills. It'll bring up the information. You can scroll through that, so you can get an understanding of what you will be encountering, his stats and all that stuff, bonuses and everything. So let's go ahead and do, I guess, what they wanted us to do. Go ahead and attack this guy. Most of the time you'll find out that Lancers want to defend things. They're mainly defensive units, except for Elwyn. Lancer Elwyn is the rare exception. Yes, Bozo. Or I mean, Gambino. I'm sorry. Okay, so we're pushing forward. Yes. Heal. So they're going to show off healing here. We're going to go through a healing mechanic. Pretty simple. Click your skill. Click your unit that you want to heal. Go ahead and heal.
My time to shine.
All right, we're going to use you to defend. I don't care. This move here is interesting. And another thing I want to show you, if you hold down the skill, it'll actually bring up the information on it, which is kind of useful, especially if you're like, oh wait, what does this skill do? So Air Slash here is a unique skill that allows you to attack from range, if you like, dealing 1.5 damage, and your units, your melee units, are also able to engage in combat. Because I moved Grenier in the way, can't pull that move off, but we're going to use it here. It'll still do effective damage.
Exactly.
And that was the mission. Pretty simple. Very straightforward for that first one. Victory. And then you get rewarded. So every time you complete a map, you get rewarded. So you'll get team experience, which adds up every time you level. You need more experience for each one. And then you also have character experience. So you need to balance that out. We'll cover that more. Actually, the game will cover that more, but I'll just follow along. All right, so your hero level caps, I guess we'll cover it a little bit. Yeah, every time your team levels up, you are able to level up your characters one more than that level. So at level 2, we can make our units at level 3, just to be aware. So the hero level cap goes up by 1, and you will also get stamina for level up. So we didn't get this one on the first one, but eventually we will. And then you get rewards. It's very nice to do maps.
Archbishop, the
Archbishop. Sorry, sir. We cannot talk to you. Moving on. Okay. Next, we have in-game reward checklist. It's not really a checklist. It's more like a calendar check. So every day that you log in consecutively, you will get a reward. If you log in every single day, you can make it to day 30. Unfortunately, since we're not starting on the 1st, or does it matter? Yes, it does matter. Okay, so you want to start off on the 1st of the month and then log in every single day. So because we started in late, and because this is going to be used primarily as a guide for newcomers, I will not be logging into this every single day. But just to kind of point out, these are the rewards you can get. Eventually, you'll get different kind of rewards depending on the days and all that stuff. So log in every day. It's not that hard. It takes maybe half a minute because it's got to load. All right. So here we are going through the stuff. They're talking about their head hurting and stuff. Again, you can read the story. So now you're going to be encountering the world map here. You have various events that you will encounter. You also have character position, which I've never understood this. It doesn't really matter. You always see your character for the most part. You can gradually explore the world as the plot progresses. It's pretty self-explanatory. And then in the top right, you always know where your main story is. So it's kind of nice. And it has like different icons and stuff showing you by next and all that stuff. So pretty simple. To get to next, though, we do have to travel along a pathway here. And our next opponent is going to be right here. So we could, if we wanted to well, oh, we can't. We can't check that stuff. It's a forced event. An enemy approaches.
Wait.
Alright, so we're going to skip through the story, but I'm going to try and stagger this. So the tutorial stuff we're going to try to get through as one segment, and then I'm going to periodically go through and we'll chop up the blocks of information talking about story and all that. Not necessarily like the story, but how to get through the different story maps and stuff and what to look out for. It's a guide for you guys who are starting out, just to kind of point out, hey, look, these are things you can do. This is stuff you should look out for. When it comes to the tutorial, unfortunately, this stuff is all extremely straightforward. Sorry, I should be clicking on things. So here we are. We're going to use air slash to... Oh, we are not. Why wouldn't we do that? We have air slash. You fool! Again, we're using our type advantage. It's important. This is where they're going to be discussing that. So each character has an advantage, and if you want to sing along to my little tune that I sang earlier, infantry beats lancers, lancers beat cavalry, and cavalry beats infantry. Holy is better than demons. Archers take down flyers. At least they do extra damage. The only classes that don't have any priorities are aquatic, mages, and assassins, but that does not mean that there are moves that can affect those specifically, or if they have weaknesses, as far as typically aquatic units are not tanky as far as mages, like magic damage and stuff. So a lot of times you want to use your mages to take out aquatic units because they have extremely good defenses. Assassins are great at attacking at range, and they have high priority as far as attack animation. So they get their attacks off extremely quick, but hit them close up, and they're not going to be doing a whole lot of damage. And again, lots of variances and stuff, but we'll cover that when we get there. So you can always check the priority system at the top left corner. We'll do that here in a minute, but it'll just go over the same explanation that we already got. So if you click off your unit, here it is. You click on it, boom, it's a reminder. Range damage deal less damage in melee. Pretty self-explanatory. So next we're going to use Grenier. No. Okay, this is the other thing we're going to talk about. You have this here that talks about the terrain bonuses. So you have your grassland defense 0. So you get no extra bonuses for that. But if you move to a different location that has like maybe trees or a mountain cliffside, you'll get a bonus. So while in the forest, your defense increases by 20%. It is useful. I have found that sometimes it can make or break the difference between losing a unit or keeping a unit. So if you can, definitely utilize the terrain as much as possible. Otherwise, you should be pretty fine. Especially early on. Early on stuff is not too bad.
Do you need help?
Okay, no. I mean, we can show off here. So a good tactic is to look at your opponent and see, oh wow, look at the range that they can move. I was gonna move Almeida down here in this corner, but that was a bad idea because she would have taken damage. So instead, we're just gonna have her sit tight. And she can heal from range. Now, there are no secret items or anything like that, so don't worry about that right now. But there are going to be some in the future. Next, we're going to move Grenier. Oh, what is this skill? It's an assist. It's a guard skill, and it's an assist. So he is able to take the physical damage of others nearby him.
Do you need help?
So we're going to actually utilize that. So he can move to here. So we're going to move in a way that allows Grenier to take... Okay, wait. That didn't work. I swear I play this game. I swear I do. Was I supposed to... Oh, it's an activate skill. Why does it say an assist? Okay. One of the things you're going to have to check and do is read the description carefully and then also translate it yourself. It's not always 100% accurate, but with that, I saw assist and I was like, oh, so it's an assist skill that I don't have to activate. I should have read it as passive, then I wouldn't. Assist skill. So in that case, you would have activated the skill. Again, that's not a skill I normally use, so I was not aware of its condition. But that's okay, because you know why? We can still salvage this. So we're going to heal. And then we're going to have Matthew attack from range. Again, this is tutorial stuff. You really don't have to worry about this. The failure rate on this is extremely low.
Enough. I understand.
All right. Sorry.
Really?
I'm going to skip this stuff. Moving forward. Trying to keep this a little quick.
Anyway, where should we go?
So there will be a point in time that the story stops playing in English and you will only hear audio in Japanese. The English text will remain, so you can always read through for sure, because that would really suck actually. But the English voices will die out. So now we can check on some things. You always want to check if there's like a red dot on any of the icons. Go check those out. Now there's a lot of different things here. So you got all these different guides you can go through. I think the guides are there for you to collect rewards. So if you see anything with a red dot, explore it, read through it. This is talking about the Thunder Dragon strategy. We are far, far and away from ever encountering that in this guide. So we don't have to worry about that. So, you know, read through it. Sometimes you get prizes, sometimes you don't. It all depends. Like this one. See here? At the very bottom it says claim reward. Now if I did click off of it, you'll notice it still has that red dot. So we want to make sure that we click all of this stuff. Again, this is for Thunder Dragon strategy. We're going to come up with our own strategy because we're not using SSR units. And we'll cover those in a moment. So again, it tells us that it got that. This is just an update for the login rewards. Yada yada. We got new banners coming and stuff. Whole bunch of exciting things. Okay. So then, just, there we go. Back off that. So then, this is where you collect your mail. So a lot of times you'll get rewards for doing, they have arena in this game. They have different prizes that you get. This is where you would collect that stuff. So because we got those rewards, you come into your mail, click on your claim a reward. Pretty simple. You know, again, they give a little bit of a description. Dear Commander, please claim, blah, blah, blah. Pretty simple. So again, this stuff is overkill for what we're doing. We're at level 2. So then you got your different events going on. So you have different ones here. This is for a guild, kind of a guild thing. We don't need to worry about that. We're not in the guild. This is another thing where you can do a kind of a macho lotto, as they used to call it. This one's called Big Bros Gamble. It's basically a lottery. In the first 2 or 3, I think the first 2 or 3, the first one's free. But for the first 2 or 3 pulls, it's extremely rare that you would ever get the main prize. You could potentially, but it's a weighted system, so just pay mind to that. Most of these lower ones you're going to collect first, almost most of the time, and then they got some higher stuff. We'll cover the different stuff as we get there. We have this Adventurer's Path. Let's see. Again, this is my first time playing in a new one. So here we have the Adventurer's Path, which is pretty interesting. As you log in every day, you'll get rewards. So it's a kind of a cool way to keep logging into the game as well, on top of the calendar system. You'll get interesting items, you'll get crystals, which is used for summoning. We'll cover that in a moment when we do some here, once we get the chance. You have items. This is an SSR item, very useful when we get to that point, but right now we will just claim our first reward. These are vouchers. You can use crystals and vouchers for summoning. We'll cover that when we get there. Again, and then you have your Battle of Honor, and this lasts until next year. Long time. So you have an entire year to go through and collect a lot of this rare stuff that's actually quite useful. Some of it not 100%, but most of it's pretty good. You have your Echo Light stuff. This is for your whales. This is also for anybody who wants to spend a little bit of money too. You can collect some stuff, but the main goal is to try and get these skins, and these skins are they are good. This one's one of my personal favorites. Unfortunately, I don't have the money to spend to get these kind of skins, but Lanford, you are a sexy man. Okay. So you're able to spend money, get some stuff. The cool thing, though, is even though you spend money, it's not a guarantee that you'll be better. You'll just be a little bit faster at being better. There's a lot of strategy involved. And then this one talks about the banners that are out right now. So we have Radiant Bloodline with Elwyn and Lennon being able to pull for. And then we also have this Relics of Yeless. It's an increased chance to get equipment. For us, and especially for us right now, we don't want to do that. At our level, we want to focus on just getting through the tutorial, clearing out our missions. So let's cover missions real quick. These are where you're actually able to collect things. So every day, twice a day, every 12 hours from noon to like midnight and midnight to noon, you're able to collect 2 burgers. These are your stamina points. So right now we have 2 Big Bro burgers. I didn't know they had a name to it. Aw, look at it. They have a face on top of it. That's cute. Sold with Coke and fries. I didn't get the Coke and fries. I'm going to refund. Okay. Use those to increase your stamina throughout the day. At first you want to kind of save up on those, and then eventually you'll have so many that you just spend them. So here we have complete a map. Boom. Get this done. Look at that, levels us up. Really quick to level up early in the game. So if we use an experience potion, we'll get more experience. And this is team experience that allows us to level up our team. And then also if we do a friendship summon, we get more on that. So we'll cover that here in a moment. We completed the first chapter, so we can claim those 10 Trinity crystals. And there's a lot of stuff, like, look. And it grows. Like, at first, it's like, oh, that doesn't look like a lot. But every time you do some, more is added. Then we got feats. We have all kinds of things. We're going to be busy, guys. Okay, I think that is a good segment for the first section of the video where we covered the initial tutorial part, choosing our server, choosing our class for Matthew, which absolutely is the most pivotal thing. Okay, jokes aside, really doesn't matter unless you are specifically going to be using them for a certain reason. A lot of people don't stick with Matthew. Maybe for some of the classes like Dragon or Strike Master, but for the most part, most people don't use Matthew 100%. And on top of it, his other class that he has available is actually pretty decent. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching the first episode of the SR Challenge Beginner's Guide. Thank you again, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode.